we're back on Insight, and I'm your host, Valerie. And earlier in the earlier segment, we were talking here with 3 young children, and they're talking about their art project. And there was one other young lady that wasn't able to make it, but we're going to actually show a video of her talking about her project. Enjoy.
Hi, my name is Danae Peters, and this is the picture I drew for the art contest. The meaning of my picture is for black girls. I had a few of my friends, they always had problems with their skin complexion. They wasn't too happy with it. So this picture is to represent how we still can be black and proud in our own skin. We still have love, still have peace, we still have laughter. And the name of my picture is called I'm Black and I'm Proud, to show that all black girls should be proud of their skin.
Hi, we're back. And you know, Danae's artwork looks so beautiful. I loved how she explained why she drew that artwork, and I thought she did an excellent job. And you did an excellent job teaching her and teaching the children how to draw. And everybody, we're here talking about the arts in Emerald Coast, and I'm here with Mr. Jenkins, and he's a local artist and businessman here in the Emerald Coast. And he's been giving weekly lessons to children in after school and summer camp. So, Mr. Jenkins, please tell us about some of your experiences working with the children.
Some of the experiences I've had with the kids is just knowing that they are an enthusiastic group, and I don't have a problem getting their attention. They seem to be very receptive to what we're trying to teach them. And we're going to do some things in the future, I think, that's going to really get these guys excited. We're really going to try to use the social media to get some of their artwork out, and we're looking forward to doing a few little trips here and there to different local museums and different art sites around town. And we got some things planned down the future. It's in the infinite stages right now, but we really have some good things that we want to do with the kids.
It sounds very, very exciting, and just talking with you about art, I can just tell you love doing it, and I think that makes a big difference when you teach children. You have to make sure you love it too, and I think that they feed off of you for that. I understand too on your website, one of your favorite quotes is, "Every child is an artist. The problem is how to remain an artist once we grow up," and this was by Pablo Picasso. And so what about this quote interests you?
Well, the thing is, I just remember when I was a kid and all the things that I like doing about art and all the different areas of art that I've been involved in, everything from sculpture to wood carving and things of that nature. And what happens is, as we grow to be adults, we seem to get so involved in life, and then you have families and children and all these things come along, that your time is so restrained that you have to really discipline yourself in order to have a family life, have an artistic life, or have a regular job, as some people have to do. So what that does is it seems to take away from your creative juices, and you really, really have to find that time and that space where you can create and be creative. So as you grow to be an adult, you don't have that same ambition like you had when you were a kid, and you just could do things and not even worry about, when you get older, you say, oh, I want this to be so perfect. But when you're a kid, you just say, hey, I just like it because it's beautiful. That's the difference, When you get older, you have to be so concerned because when people look at us, well, it's not that good. And you'll be saying, well, it's not for you. So those are the things that I see, that when we become adults, we have a tendency to lose our child inhibitions when we're being artists.
That's a good point. Like, you don't really hear, or, adults like, oh, I'm just going to go ahead and draw a picture. Like, they'll probably just look at you weird, like, okay, like, don't you have more important things to do? And I know I always had, when I was little, I had the habit of doodling, even through high school while teachers talked. And the funny thing is, it looked like I wasn't paying attention, but for some reason, it actually helped me listen to them better. So I would sit there, I would have my paper for notes and have my paper for doodling, and then I would sit there and just draw and doodle, and it helps me actually understand and concentrate better. So which brings to my next question with you. How are the arts essential in child's education? How do you think?
Well, I think what happens is, and I was talking to a young man just yesterday, and he was showing his artwork, and he's a student that just was here for a day. And I asked him, I says, you're a good student, you're a good artist. And I says, how often do you draw? He says, very little. He said, because my parents emphasized that my studies, and they got me involved in a lot of other things. And I said, but do you really like art? He says, I really like art. And sometimes parents have a tendency, and don't get me wrong, I understand perfectly the math, the English, the sciences, the things that are necessary. But you must allow your child to have that creative time where they can create and do the things sometimes that they enjoy doing, not the things that you know that they have to necessarily have the math and science. But if they're good students, you must allow them to be creative. You must allow them to let that creativity out so you can see. You never know. I know people, a lot of people who have regular jobs who are great artists, but their thing was always to make the money.
Yeah.
And I know when I was a kid, I know people say, you can't make no money doing that. And that's one of the drawbacks for a lot of people. They seem to look at their kids and say, well, you can't make money doing that. But I promise you, I know a lot of prolific artists today who make millions of dollars painting and drawing, and that's what they do for a living. So you can make a living at it. So this is one of the things I would like to tell parents, don't just shun that to the side as, oh, this is just something he likes doing. In reality, you never know, you may have the next Leonardo da Vinci.
That's true. It does seem like that's a problem with arts in general. You don't really think of it too much as a career choice for parents really wanting their children to do it. Either they think it's too difficult to get into it or they think it's a waste of time. So I think it's good that we need more people like you to educate people that, arts is essential. It's just important actually as math and science because it helps with creativity. A lot of important things happen in our history. We talked to kids in the after school program in the summer camp a little bit about history and stuff, and actually a lot of our things that we're able to do to invent, it has to do with creativity and someone thinking it up. Someone had to think of, hey, let's just fly in the air. Someone had to imagine what that had to look like or what the basic things look like. So that's really, really cool that you're teaching.
Yeah, and that is so essential. And one of the things that we try to involve the kids in the class, every week we have a question. And the question doesn't necessarily have to do with the arts. The question can come from history, come from religion, it can come any genre. And what the incentive is, if you come up with a winning answer, you will get a prize. And that prize will be something to do with, paint, drawing, something to do with the arts. And it really gets their little minds going because every week they be like, okay, what's the question? Because everybody wants to try to win something. So it really gives them the insight that they must read the newspaper, they must watch the news sometime on TV, they must watch sports, they must listen to music, because all those things are encompassed in the question that I may ask. So it really gets them going. Yeah.
That's good. That's excellent. And I'm seeing that we're sitting here with Easel, so I'm really, really excited. And you're actually here to teach us a little bit, just basic art and some techniques, to help us going. So even the children at home and even the adults can go and maybe do this on their break. So can you give us a little what you're doing, a demonstration?
Okay. Well, one of the things that I'm gonna demonstrate here today is the same things that I try to teach in class. It's basic geometry, and I mean geometric shapes. And anything can be formed from geometric shapes. And sometimes, people say, oh, it's so hard. Well, sometimes you can do something as simple as, when you say geometric shapes, first of all, you're gonna form a circle. I'm using a very light pencil right now, and I'm drawing a circle. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw an animal. Okay. And what I tell the kids is, first there's a circle, then there's a triangle, and a triangle. And you probably at home can't see this real clear right now. But these triangles and these circles, okay? And then I'm gonna form a circle there, and a circle there. And then it's gonna be a circle there. And then there's gonna be another circle down here. Now I'm using a light pencil because when you're using the light pencil, you can come back later on and erase. Now I'm gonna come in with a darker pencil. And what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do is just gonna come down, and you're gonna come down, and around. And like I said, we're just doing, this is something really basic that most kids can learn. And once they see it develop, they're like, wow. It just comes alive in front of their faces. And as you see right there. And we're not trying to be perfect, because when you're dealing with kids, we want to make the work look kid-like, I don't want them to think that I'm such a perfect artist. It's not there's no such thing as the perfect artist. And then one of the things I always try to tell the kids, you don't need erasers. The only time you need your erasers a lot of times is like when you have the little light lines in, and all I want to do is here. That's all you want to do. Just show a little, come in there, the same thing. And it's beginning to take a little shape. And I think, you know, you can see at home, it's beginning to get a little bit animal-like. And that's what we do. And I asked the kids what kind of dog it was, and they gave her all kinds of names, you know. And he has a few little freckles on his face and things like that. And that's all we're trying to do. And we come in with the ears. And what we do is you put a little shading, just to give a little volume to it.
It's amazing how you just use basic shapes like that and it turns into something.
And the thing about it is every time as a young artist, what I try to tell them to do is, what you need to do is just look at it from a standpoint of where are the geometrical shapes, where are the rectangles, where are the circles, where are the triangles, you know, and that's in any human form, you know. Just some of this is just basic art, and that's why I try to teach them basics. Because once you teach the basics, and if they're really into it, they will research. They will find the art books. And for the parents out there, I tell you all the time, there are all kinds of little how-to draw books. And I guarantee you, all those little how-to draw books will show your kid geometric shapes. Everything that you do, geometric shapes. And then you get in a little shading and shadowing, and you're going from dark to light, understanding where the light comes from. And these are the things you try to implement in your drawing for the kids. And like I say, they love it, I love it. And when I got an enthusiastic group like we have at Youth Village, it's actually really, really, really fascinating. And I want to say thank you again to Miss Nellie and Valerie and all the people at Youth Village for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to come in and work with the kids. And I was telling Miss Nellie that I worked with another program at one of the elementary schools here in town, which is Elliott Point. And they have a program called OIC, and I just want to, you know, the old saying, I want to give a shout out to Miss Vicki Williams over there, because she was one of the people who helped me to get into their program over there and mentor some of the kids over at Elliott Point. And it's been a very good experience, because what it does is it gives me the opportunity when I came to Youth Village to pass on some of that same information that I was doing over there. So it really has been a pleasure for me.
Well, it's excellent that you're, working, having different programs all over Okaloosa County. Maybe there's even more that we haven't, even discovered that we know about. And it's excellent that, your program and other programs around that's actually helping educate children with the arts. And believe it or not, our time is actually almost up, and it's amazing. That looks so awesome. You do that within like 5 minutes. It's brilliant. So thank you guys, and I can't wait to, maybe you guys can post your artwork if you if you drew along with Mr. Art Jenkins. And thank you so much for being on the show. And I appreciate you coming here, and thanks to the kids that came here also to showing their artwork. And you're welcome to join us on the website if you want to watch the episode again. It's on facebook.com/insighttelevision.com, or you can go on a regular website, www.insighttelevision.org. We hope to see you next time here on Insight.